myself, Hemant Kumarji, working as Associate Professor in Cambridge Institute of Technology in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. Today I'll be teaching Module 5 Optical Networks, Chapter 1. So, optical fiber network is also referred as optical network. It is a telecommunications network. It is used as a primary transmission medium in optical networks. Optical networks are used for the transmission of voice, video, and data. Optical networks offers very high bandwidth and less bulky compared to that of electrical copper lines. So if you take evolution of optical networks, it is explained with the help of this figure. It is having three generations. First generation, late 1980s to late 1990s. Second generation, that is present day. Third generation, so 5 to 10 years or 10 plus years. So in the first generation, they were using synchronous networks like SDH or SONET, and they were concentrating on point-to-point communication. In the second generation, along with synchronous networks, they gave importance to wavelength routing. In the third generation, they gave more importance to dynamic or fast optical switch circuit along with optical bus switching and also optical packet switching and also optical hybrid switch, which comprises optical circuit switching and optical packet switching. So if you take optical network concept, it provides a connection between many users to enable them to communicate with each other by transporting information from a source to a destination. It may also requires an intermediate stage to process the data or packets, and each packet is sent to an established path. The packet also contains control and addressing information regarding the destination. So this shows the optical network structure. So it is having optical nodes. So circles indicates optical nodes. So between two optical nodes or any two optical nodes, you'll be having optical fiber link, which is acting like a physical link, and you'll be having dotted lines or dashed lines, which shows logical links or light paths. So in this case, they have taken two signals having two different wavelengths, lambda 1 and lambda 2. So coming to the network topologies, the commonly used network topologies are bus topology, ring topology, and star or mesh structure topology, as shown in the figures below. Bus topology. The data generally circulates bidirectionally. Data can be applied and removed from the optical fiber bus via four-port couplers located at the nodes. Ring topology. The data usually circulates unidirectionally, being looped through the nodes at each coupling point, and hence it is repeatedly regenerated in phase and amplitude. In star topology, an optical star coupler forms a central hub to the network, which may be either active or passive. In passive operation, the star coupler at the hub splits the data in terms of power so that the signal is transmitted to all nodes. Overall losses are therefore primarily determined by the number of splits. With an active hub, the data is split in an optoelectronic star coupler, which carries out both optical to electrical and electrical to optical conversion, and therefore this process does not contribute to the overall network losses. In mesh topology, the ring and star topologies are combined in the mesh configuration. In a full mesh topology, each network node is interconnected with all the nodes in the network. Push Full mesh topology provides more interconnectivity than the other three topologies. Optical networks can be implemented using either a single or a combination of topologies. The full mesh topology is often preferred because of its high flexibility and interconnectivity features. Next comes network architecture. Network architecture provides the necessary information required for the implementation of networking functionalities in different layers of a OSI reference model. The transmission path can be established using two networking modes. First one is connection-oriented networking mode. Second one is connection-less networking mode. In connection-oriented networking mode, a bidirectional communication environment is established for connection
between source and destination. Once the path is established or determined, all the subsequent information and the data are sent to and fro from the destination using the established connection. If you take connectionless network, this mode is often achieved by transmitting information in one direction, say source to destination, without confirming the readiness of the destination. In connectionless networks, both the addressing information and the data are organized in small blocks known as packets. There are two primary network switching modes. One is circuit switching mode, other one is packet switching mode or cell switching mode. In circuit switching mode, an end-to-end circuit is required to be set up before establishing a connection, and all the specific network resources necessary for the switching are dedicated for the particular transmission, during which no other transmission can access these resources. Once the transmission is complete, the circuit is terminated and resources become available to other users. Circuit switching mode can be characterized as continuous, selective, and temporary. Circuit switching is utilized in connection oriented networks. If you take packet switching or cell switching mode, this mode implies a store and forward strategy where incoming messages are forwarded to their corresponding destinations. Sending or receiving a complete message in a single block requires a buffering stage where information can be gathered before it is sent to the destination. Alternatively, messages can be sent in small blocks, that is, packets or even smaller blocks called cells, which do not require such significant buffering stages. Hence, the message is divided into packets which comprise variable length blocks of data with a tight upper bound limit, or a cell which incorporates a fixed length block of data. Packets or cells from many different sources are statistically multiplexed and sent on to their destinations. In statistical multiplexing, a fixed bandwidth communication channel is divided into several variable channels, and the desired or requested bandwidth is allocated to each end users. This contrasts with simple time or wavelength division multiplexing, where fixed bandwidth is assigned. Finally, both packet and cell switching are applied in connection-oriented networks. Packet, however, is also often employed in connectionless network. Next comes virtual circuits. The virtual circuit is a series of logical connections between the sending and receiving devices. A virtual circuit is a connection between source and destination nodes, which may consist of several different routes. These routes can change at any time, and the incoming return route does not have to mirror the outgoing route. When the connections are set up in advance based on expected traffic patterns. Next comes switched virtual circuits. In switched networks, connections can be set up on demand and released after the data exchange is complete. Such connections are known as switched virtual circuits. Next topic is network routing. Network routing refers to the process whereby a node finds one or more paths to possible destinations in a network. In this process, control and data processing functions are performed to identify the route and to handle the data during the journey from source to destination. Next comes control plane. A simple routing process is known as control plane. It consists of three stages. First one is neighbor discovery, second one is topology discovery, and third one is path selection. In neighbor discovery, uh, the nodes in network discover the identity of their intermediate neighbors and their connections to the neighboring nodes. In topology discovery, uh, node discovers all other nodes in the network and how they are connected to each other. Next comes path selection. Once the network topology is known, paths from a source to a destination can be determined using path computation algorithms or routing protocols. A protocol is the set of standard rules for data representation, signaling, authentication, and error detection required to send information over a communication channel. The control plane therefore acquires and then provides the reachability information throughout the network. This reachability or routing information disseminated by the routing protocol is consolidated in a forwarding table at each node. The forwarding table contains the identity of the next node and the outgoing interface to forward packets addressed to each destination. In order to handle the data more efficiently, it requires an additional procedure known as the data plane. Data plane allows an optical node to forward the incoming packets towards their destinations by using the information contained in the forwarding table. The data plane operation involves first step examining the destination address of the packets. Second step searching the forwarding table to determine the next hop and the corresponding outgoing interface, and then forwarding the packets on this next hop. Next comes modularity of optical networks. Modularity defines the characteristics of a network which allows the addition or reduction of networking nodes in a modular fashion. Such modular networks therefore permit the usage of wavelengths in different sections of a large optical network without causing wavelength conflict. Scalability, it is the property of a network which enables it to progressively accommodate a large number of nodes and end user systems without incurring excessive overheads. It is one of the most important design aspects of any network or protocol. For a network with a high number of nodes, scalability becomes difficult to realize as a large number of alternative routes are available. Scalability can be achieved in several different ways, such as by employing routing hierarchy or by performing route aggregation. Another common technique for achieving scalability is to reduce the number of routing updates using threshold schemes.